I'm a football coach.
Yeah.
If you want your son to be poured into, be molded as a man, become one of the best running backs in the country, you send him to me. If you're trying to get in the financial part of banking, I point to Coach Day and the rest of the guys that handle it. I'm a football coach.
Yeah.
I have no problem with the NIL stuff. This is my only issue. Come earn it.
Hey, Bray.
What's up, Jeff? How are you?
Base administrator.
Not against you.
Just like Godfather. This is the life you've chosen.
As you're with guys that have kind of been in the arena.
Podcast is powered by Lindsey and Associates. And got a huge guest on today, Coach Bray. Got a huge guest.
Yeah, we
go
do.
way back. A man just coming off with a national champion right here, running back coach from Ohio State, Coach Locklyn. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell me, the last 24 hours, 48 hours been a little crazy. Tell me the feeling of winning that national championship this past Monday night against Notre Dame.
I mean, it was exciting. My wife asked me how did I feel. I know she was excited. My mind, just because of the guys that the guy the tree I come from under, my mind went back to like it's time to get out of recruitment work again. So
yeah.
I enjoyed it for about 24 hours, and my mind been on, okay, let's get back out and start recruiting.
I get it.
Wow.
Well, Coach, let's go through this a little bit. Let's go. I mean, your career is pretty amazing deal. Grew up in Alabama. You worked in the high school ranks in Memphis, for a few years right there. And then obviously you go on to work for Mike Norvell there at the University of Memphis. Talk to us a little bit about your high school experience, being a high school coach, the growth that has gotten you where you are today.
I enjoyed my time there in Memphis as a high school football coach. Started in 2009 to my last season, 2016 there at Cordova High School, where I led them as an offensive coordinator to the semifinals. I enjoyed my time there, just pointing to those kids, and from Tresvant High School to Westwood to Manassas to Cordova High School. I just was trying to give back to kids. After I had got an opportunity to go to the NFL when I left Chattanooga, played arena football for a while. I was done with football. I had no dreams or aspirations of coaching, but God kind of led me into serving people and young people, and here I am.
Well, you get hooked up at Memphis. You go in for, you start kind of at the bottom. You're sitting there working in the weight room, the different things. Talk to us a little bit about your time at Memphis there. I believe Coach Cook was there. Talk to us a little bit about your time there, man.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm forever grateful for my relationship with the guys at Memphis, and starting off with Josh Storm answering a DM off of Twitter. I was just getting over high school season, and in 2017 in January, I was like, man, I just tried my hand at I want to try to get into college coaching the best way I could. Josh Storms allowed me to come over in the weight room, and from the weight room, I went to Ryan Silverfield room to start being around the offensive lineman that I love. Then I ended up being in the running back room with the position I played, and start pointing to those kids. But just showing up every day at that time. I didn't have a locker. I didn't have nowhere to change. I would change in my car in the parking lot, whatever. Get off work 5:45 in the morning. Drive over from Olive Branch, Mississippi to Memphis, and just I had no hidden agenda other than I just wanted to serve the coaches I was around, serve the young men, and it took off from there. Mike Norvell took a notice in me. Dr. Sherman Morris, the guy that was the director of recruiting at the time, he kind of started pouring into me, and Mike Norvell took notice, and to this day have a great relationship with Coach Norvell. I consider him not a friend. I consider him family. Just things just went from there, man. Like I said, people, I know Brady knows the story, but it ain't like I was invited or really wanted at Memphis at the time, especially in the position room I was in. I went through some things just try to stay around there where I wasn't wanted, but I just believed in pointing to the kids and serving the coaches there the best way I could.
And real quick, if I'll jump in there, you heard him mention he got off work and came to practice at 5:45. You work nights, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, he worked.
Wow.
Would work all night and then come to the office. I mean, we're showing up for staff meetings, and my man's just getting off work, and it was one of those things that was pretty unbelievable at the time to realize what he was putting into that program.
Yeah, it's been a journey. But I tell people all the time when I speak to them, man, I tell them there's nothing unique about my story. It's not, because everybody has a story, everybody has a journey. The only thing unique about my story is that God took a guy that was once the captain of sinners and he decided to qualify the unqualified for me to pour into people. That's the only thing that's amazing about my story. And I made a promise that every day that I breathe and I live, that I will pour into people. You know, whether it's coaches that I work with, whether it's the running backs or whatever player on the team. And that's something that I held myself to that standard by serving people. So I held myself to that. And like I said, this has been an amazing journey. I know God's not done. Starting in 2017 to now, I had to scratch my head like, wow, this is really happening.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, and obviously, your journey being, and pretty incredible. But you're right. You know, your daily actions have obviously had an impact because you just got yourself a big old shiny ring about 2 days ago. So, pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, like I said, this has been an amazing run. Considering that I was out there in Oregon for 2 years, up on Dan Land and starting. My guy Kenny Dillingham brought me out there. I'm forever grateful for him from that relationship that I started with him at Memphis. And he brought me out there to Oregon and helped build that running back room, helped start that program winning out there, and some great relationships I had out there then too. Leave this past year to come to The Ohio State. With Coach Dave reaching out to me, him and Chip Kelly, and bringing me here because I knew nobody. I knew nobody here.
Well,
I didn't know anybody.
Yeah. Well, that's my question. So you go to Oregon out there, Dan Lanning, had some Memphis connection. Kenny's out there, and a lot of guys out there. A guy we know real well, Cutter Leftwich, who was a GAA guy, the ultimate male man. He's a big fan of the program, and so you're out there. So your connection to Ohio State, you talked about you didn't know anybody. Obviously, Chip Kelly's got a little connection to Oregon, but I mean he's at UCLA. What was your connection getting from Oregon out to Ohio State?
I know nobody. Wow. I didn't have a connection.
Wow.
I had a couple of schools reach out to me prior to me leaving Oregon. Like I said, I enjoyed my time out there at Oregon. And, I had 3 other schools reach out to me. And actually, Ohio State was the 4th school that reached out to me. And I was really content with just staying in Oregon. And, man, I didn't know Ryan Day at all. Never met him. Never talked to him until the day he called. Until the day he texted me like 5:30 in the morning. I was getting ready to go work out. And he texted me. I shook my wife like, hey, this Ryan Day. She's like, who is that? I don't know what that is. And she put her glasses on. She said, okay, who is that? I was like, this is the coach at The Ohio State. And she was like, is that a big thing? Are they big in Oregon? I'm like, are you serious? I was like, then to have him call me, talk to me, then he was like, Chip Kelly wants to reach out and talk to you. And I was just so like, I'm a former high school coach, still a high school coach at heart, and everybody wanted to do what Chip was doing on the high school level. Wanted to do that. What he was doing in college, wanted to do it on the high school level. I was such a big fan of Chips and Gus Malzahn, them 2 of my, because they're high school guys. I was such a big fan. But the talk on the phone with Chip, he called me, and like I didn't want to call him Chip. I just kept calling him Coach Kelly. I said, I can't call you Chip, man. I said, Coach Kelly. So, and then to this day, I got a great relationship with him. Like I said, he supports me in so many ways here here in Columbus. And I love Chip, man. Chip was a good dude. And like I said, he has poured into me a lot. Same thing with Coach Day. I learned so much here. And for a guy that they don't know, I'm not from their tree. No, they didn't know me from anyone, but they wanted me here. They value me here. And, Coach Day just told me, he said he liked what I do with running backs. So, I can develop the backs here and how I pour into people. And he never did mention recruiting. Like, wow. He that's something that, I'm going to do that regardless. I hate using the word recruiting because I always tell people I'm not a car salesman. I believe I'm an elite relationship builder, but Coach Day never did bring that up. He valued me as a football coach, and the recruiting part is just part of it.
Well, it is. And talk to us about going into Ohio State, all the changes, the Big Ten, you were at Oregon, now they're part of the Big Ten, and at Ohio State. That league has gotten really tough. Obviously, back-to-back national champions in that league. Talk to us a little bit about the Big Ten. And, I mean, you've been in Memphis and you've been around SEC stuff, which we're around. But talk to us a little bit about the Big Ten and and just a pressure cooker there is in Ohio State to win.
I mean, it's a great league. Like Oregon won the league their first year in, and like I said, went out there and we played them on October 12th. That was the loudest game I've been a part of.
Really?
Yeah, it was loud.
Wow.
And ever been out there, living out there for 2 years, and they beat us by 1 point. I'm telling you, boy, you talking about it felt like, whoo. That might have been the first game I probably had some tears run down my face losing that game. Because I'm losing to some friends over there on that staff, and I'm here, and I wanted to beat them so bad. You know, you're a competitor. You come from a place, you want to beat them. Yeah. And we lost that game, but no, I stood out there with my wife, held her hand. All the fans rushed the field, and I shook in many people's hands I could. You know, some of the fans that recognized who I was. They were real nice. You know, not all the fans were nice. You know, when I left there. But, you know, when they saw me, they just told me how much they appreciated me. But I shook everybody's hand, and me and my wife just soaked it all up. And I said, we'll get another opportunity to play them again. And I thought it was going to be the Big Ten championship, but it wasn't. But we got a chance to play them again in the Rose Bowl, and things went another way. So that felt –
yes, it did.
Yeah, that felt pretty good. But, you know, I tell people all the time, Mike Norvell, I learned this from Mike a long time ago. How are you going to respond to adversity? No, we had some adversity here this year. You know, where we lost 2 games and by a total of 4 points. And I work for a really, 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 really great head coach. He's a good man, allows you to do your job. And I'm talking about Ryan Day is really a good guy. And just see him hoist that trophy on Monday, I felt good for him. You know, for a guy like he's 70-10 and stuff he had to go through here. And I told him a couple of weeks ago, I said, Coach, my only objective is make sure that you're successful. No, I don't get people off my head coach back, man. This dude, really good dude, man. Poured to the coaches and people, and to see him have some success, I felt real good on Monday for him to see him hoist that trophy.
Well, you could see that also with his players. I mean, after the game, the players really rallied around him in that part of. Let's hit back, and I hate to bring up a sore subject here, is Michigan. Talk to our audience that the people that have not experienced that Michigan rival. You know, we've got Auburn, Alabama here. You know, Arkansas and Missouri got one. You know, you got A&M and Texas. But that rival from afar looks one of the most intense things that, in college football. Talk to us a little bit leading up to that deal and the experience, which, I mean, y'all lost to them and then went on to win the national championship. But your first time being in that rival, what was it like?
I mean, it's a heated rival. Like I said, it's some things I have never witnessed for. Like, don't wear blue, and we don't say the team name. We just say the team up north. I think it's one of the great rivals of college football. But me, I'm a Southerner now.
Yeah,
I'm from Alabama, so the Alabama and Auburn rivalry, I think, is just as big.
Yeah,
and I am a big Alabama fan, big time. Always will be, no matter what. Alabama and the Dallas Cowboys, I'm always going to be. Those are my teams. So whether I'm coaching or not, those are my teams. But it's a big rival, and to be able to experience it, man, wow. Like I said, that was an intense game. But I learned a lot from that game, though. We put a lot into that game. Got a clock that counts down to the next time we play them. But like I said, I respect what they do up north. I respect the coaching staff. And like I said, it's a great rivalry, but I respect every opponent that we play.
Well, and you did, and then, y'all get in the playoffs and make a run here. And I got tickled. I told somebody, you're the first team to ever win 3 bowl games in 1 year, man. You got to look at it that way. I mean, Rose Bowl, the whole thing. You lose to Michigan, and you are getting it from every direction. You know how it goes in this world and the coaching world. And y'all regroup. Tennessee comes to town and pretty much just lined them up and destroyed everybody. I mean, you take care of Tennessee, you get your rematch with Oregon there in the Rose Bowl. And talk to us a little bit about experience, going, playing a home game, going the Rose Bowl, Peach Bowl, all that kind of deal. Is those 3 matchups going through it, the experience of all those bowl games in 1 year, but just the way the college playoff experience. How was it different than what you've done in the past, and what's the changes and what's good about it?
Let me tell you something. My first year going to a bowl game was 2017. We played Iowa State in the Liberty Bowl, freezing.
Yeah.
And we ended up losing that game 21-20. And at that time, I could only go to the home games. I was just a volunteer. And I know Coach Novell had just made a big hire, hiring local Memphis high school guy to be the running back coach. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to stick around or not, but I was able to, Coach Novell called me back over to the office, that January, right before he went to the coaching convention. He made me an offensive analyst. So now I was instead of weight room and volunteering, I was over there in the building and got a chance to stuck around. But, then the next year we went to the – what bowl we went to? I want to say we went to the Birmingham Bowl. Yeah, we went to the Birmingham Bowl. We lost that bowl. Then 2019, we end up winning the AAC. We beat Cincinnati back-to-back weeks. And Coach Novell gets the Florida State job. I didn't know what was going on. I just quit my job and it became the director of high school relations for him. But forever grateful for Novell. He ended up taking me with him to Florida State. Well, we had won and we were heading to the Cotton Bowl. And the Cotton Bowl is I think one of the best bowls around. Yeah. But I couldn't go. Coach Silverfield wouldn't. He didn't let me go because I had just took the job at Florida State and said I couldn't go. And my wife was hot. She's like, "Wow, we can't go to." And I made a promise. I said, "Well, God gonna put us in a situation one day where you get a chance to go back to the Cotton Bowl." And she reminded me of that this year. So
wow.
End up going, getting in these bowl games this year, playing Tennessee at home, then going to one of the most iconic bowl games, the Rose Bowl, seeing all those people out there in California and Pasadena. I was like, wow. And the whole time I was out there, I could just hear Keith Jackson's voice when I was just a little kid. Him talking about the Rose Bowl, him commentating and winning that game to get a chance to go to the Cotton Bowl. And I told my wife, I said, I promise you that you'll get back into the Cotton Bowl. I said, it took 4 years, but we got you back here. So, but playing in coaching in the Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl, then heading to Atlanta, the coaching in the national championship. Man, you talking about, I have to pinch myself. I'm excited to keep everything in perspective because, this is just my 4th year being on the field as a full-time coach with the title of running back coach. When I was at Memphis, I was a volunteer. I was an offensive analyst. I was a director of high school relations. But you couldn't tell me I wasn't a running back coach because I carried myself that way. I carried myself that way every day, how to interact with people, how I poured into those backs. And then I got my first break there at Western Kentucky with Tyson Hilton, and that was in 2021. So 2021, Western Kentucky, 2022 at Oregon. And I went to the Boca Raton Bowl when I was at West Kentucky. We won my 2 bowl games at Oregon, which was the Holiday Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl. And then I got a chance to go to these 3 games this year. And I was like, man, it's been an amazing run. It's just my 4th year as a full-time coach on the field. And I don't take none of it for granted.
Unbelievable run. And you go on to win the national championship and first one to do it in this playoff. Talk to us a little bit about the playoffs. I mean, it's kind of become NFL, a little bit longer season, and injuries and things like that occur. How do you – depth is a huge deal. Talk to us a little bit about your playoff experience. You talked about the different bowl games, but the preparation, the time period over a long period of time, it's different playing games. Do the players enjoy it, or what would you do different? What would you keep?
I mean, I would keep it the same way. I thought it was fun and exciting. You talking about a kid that grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, that never got a chance to go to the playoffs in high school.
Yeah. My
senior year, we was a 4th-ranked team in the state of Alabama. We finished year 8-2. But because we lost Robert E. Lee High School in Prattville, we couldn't make the playoffs my senior year.
Wow.
Yeah, tough. So, to get there, when I went to college, at UT Chattanooga, they're in the Southern Conference. At that time, Georgia Southern, Appalachian State, Marshall was in the conference at the time. Those were the teams that went to the playoffs. Furman. Those teams that went to the playoffs, we finished, I think, 3rd or 4th one year. We didn't get in my sophomore year. And, so I had never experienced the playoffs until I started coaching high school ball. And I was in the playoff once when I played arena football, and we ended up winning the whole thing. And so I didn't really have a whole lot of experience, but this was fun, preparing for the playoffs, knowing that, okay, you had to play your absolute best or you were going home and win them next week. So I actually enjoyed it. And, I wouldn't change anything. I think, This is something that they should have done like years ago.
Yeah.
And ain't no telling who would have won these playoff this years ago. No, I grew up watching SEC football my entire life. Just imagine if they had something like this, how different things would have been. Teams get hot towards the end of the year. All that I didn't like is the long layoff for some of the teams. You don't have that long a layoff for NFL teams. So that's about the only thing I probably would change. But it's people that's dealing with the playoffs much smarter than Coach Lock. So I let them handle it.
All right, Bray.
Yeah. Now, Coach, you guys played, phenomenal football the entire season. After that Michigan game, which we all kind of touched on a little bit, y'all seemed to raise your game to a whole different level. And it was almost watching that football team, they were not going to get stopped. What changed? What did y'all do off the field that really just lit the fire?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Really, nothing changed. Coach Day, he came into the office and all the coaches got. And I'm gonna tell you something. I've been fortunate to be around some really good football coaches to learn from. Obviously, Chip Kelly is one of the best offensive minds in football, along with Ryan Day. But we got a hell of an offensive line coach and Justin Fry. And he needs to be, applauded for what he did this year. We pretty much played this year probably with four guards in the tackle.
Yeah.
He did an amazing job. He need to get his flowers. Coach Fry did amazing job this year with our O-line. Then obviously, Brian Hartline is one of the best receiving coaches in all of football. And our tight end coach, Kenny Bailey. We got some great offensive minds there. And I'm like a kid. I sit in there taking notes because I feel like I'm the old guy in the room, but I'm the rookie. So I sit there and take notes, and I'm like, man, I got a chance to be around some really good football minds. But nothing really changed other than we just got focus and a few things will change here and there to fit the things that the offensive line can do, and that's what great coaching is about. And we got great leadership with Coach Day, and we just brought it all together, man. It worked out.
Yeah, I'd say it did. And now you mentioned you've been around some great coaches, and we've gone through your career. You've bounced around. You've been really all over the country. Mm-hmm. What's this experience been like for your family?
I'm glad I got in the coaching when I did because my story, me starting off as a correctional officer, then becoming a police officer, then working for the federal government in my role with them. I worked for a living. And I would still volunteer my time in the evening to coach high school kids there in Memphis because I just wanted to get back. I never had a vision of coaching college football. Until I had one. And I walked. The first job I actually was trying to get this before I got to Memphis, and they told me no. It was Rose College.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was Rose College. I actually went to coach and tried to get a job, and the coach told me, no, I didn't have enough experience. It was Rose College. Then I walked and I ended up DMing Josh Storms, and he said he believed in me. He said, I want to help you out. And he gave me an opportunity and and invited me in, got me to the table. And I went to work for them. But I actually was trying to start off as a D3 school at Rose College, and they said no. Yep, wow. And they said no. But, man, I'm telling you, I've been fortunate to be, like I said, I've been around some really good football minds. From Mike Norvell to Kenny Dillingham to, man, Dan Lanning is a fantastic coach. To Joe Loring, who was with me at Memphis, who was with me out there at Oregon, who taught me pretty much all about special teams. To Tyson Hilton and Brian Ellis, who's at Alabama now, coaching tight ends. I've been around some really good football coaches. Zach Kitley, who's just now took the job at FAU. He's the head coach. He was OC at Texas Tech. He was OC when I was at Western Kentucky. To Ben Arbuckle, a good friend of mine, who is now the young OC at Oklahoma, who's at Washington State. I had a chance to be around some really good football coaches. To Will Stein, who's the current OC out at Oregon now. I'm talking about some really, really good football coaches who have poured into me. Tosh Lapoy, Chris Hampton. The list go on and on with the guys that I respect that poured into me. With my fellow coaches here, because I'm just a guy who, I tell people, I'm a walk-on coach. I just walked on from the street and said I wanted to coach, and these guys are important to me. I learned so much from them. But it's been fun, man. And like I said, I'm gonna keep going at it. But it's been fun to just have a relationship with these coaches and these great minds, and just to learn from them.
Yeah. It sounds like it's been an incredible experience, and I guess that's kind of setting up this interview. You mentioned you're hitting the road tomorrow, so what's next for Ohio State, and Coach Locke?
Well, I know really a lot of coaches, they're not going to hit the road until Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, man, worked for a really good head coach, so he gave guys time just to get their minds right, and a lot of guys are going out on the road Monday. And my wife, she already knew I wasn't going to operate like that because of the men that I worked for. And I took today, tomorrow I'm hitting the road, getting out and recruit, trying to find the best running backs in the country that I think are, and try to get them to come play for me here at the Ohio State. And it's back to the like I said, you know how it goes. It's what done for me lately. People going to celebrate this title now, but then, like I said, it switches on. Okay, now we're getting ready for the next season. That's what my mind is. You have every time I see Coach Saban, man, I'm like a kid to know that he did it 7 times.
Yeah.
And at that level, and to have that type of concentration and discipline, man, I like every time I see him, I'm like a kid. I'm amazed about how he was able to do it for so long. He wins one, he moved. The next day, he was at your school, at your house, right after the championship. I mean, but because I think said that he knew what the focus was, the detail was to everything on how to win and the culture that he created. So I admire like what he did. But that's what my mind on right now is, okay, let's get back on the road. It's time to recruit, time to go build more relationships, to get people to come here to Columbus. And my goal, I have no personal goals for myself. My goal right now is to make sure that Ryan Day is the most successful head football coach in college football. That's my goal. My goal right now is to make sure that Justin Fry, Chip Kelly, Brian Hartline, Keenan Bailey on the offense side of the ball, make sure these guys are the best coaches in college football. I have no personal goal. My personal goal is to make sure that they're successful and make sure that the young men, the backs that I coach, that I call my lock boys, make sure they have an opportunity to go play at the next level. Those are my personal goals.
Yeah, that's intense, and that's the level that the Ohio State is playing at right now, which is makes sense.
Coach, I got one more question for you here. Talk to us a little bit. Of course, you all heard the stories about Chip Kelly and what an offensive mind is, and Ryan Day is too. I mean, Ryan's known as an offensive guru too. Talk to us a little bit about those meetings. With those two, they go way back, and you sitting in there, and you talked about just being a kid in a candy store, with all that knowledge in that room. Talk to us a little bit how that meeting works, what it looks like. Just kind of give us an insight.
Man, it's like they put a canvas up and they have a whole bunch of paint, and those two just start to paint. I'm talking about they get to know they're from the same hometown there in Manchester. Yeah. And when they interviewed me, I told them, I lived in Manchester, New Hampshire. And here's this black guy from the South. They're like, are you serious? Like, yeah. So I started to call that place like, you actually live there? I'm like, yeah. I played arena football there. I live there. So, but to watch them two operate with one another, where Chip has this great mind of like the run game. It's like, it's like whether it's gap scheme, zone, like he's so creative and what he do in the run game. Then you have Coach Day come in and the passing game, like I'm talking about, he's in tune with former quarterback there in New Hampshire, knows what to do. And I sit there and I watch and I just take notes. Okay, this route concept beats this coverage. Okay, and to hear them talk, it's like I'm literally in school. And like I said, when I go in there, I learn so much from just hearing both of them guys talk. And they are willing to teach you if you're willing to learn. But I feel so fortunate and blessed to be in the room with two of the best offensive minds in college football. But I feel just as blessed when I was at Oregon, because Dan Lanning is one of the best football minds. I'm talking about game planning, game management, to be sitting there with him every day. And he was with the offense majority of the time, and he got this great defensive mind to learn what hurts defenses, to hear from him and how he managed games. Also, like I said, I spent so much time with Coach Novell. Obviously, I don't hide the fact, like I say, he's one of my favorite coaches, if not my favorite. But to sit around with him and watch him talk and how he explain ball, I've been really blessed to be around some of these great minds. I'm just a old country boy from Montgomery, Alabama, who's just trying to pour into people, and God has blessed me to be in this situation.
Let's keep going there with that part of it. You talked about being in that frame, that mind work, and putting those things together. And you guys had an unbelievable recruiting class also in the portal this past year. You got one of the best receivers, one of the best young receivers I've seen come out in a long time. Talk to us a little bit about the process of, Ohio State's such a national name. Does it recruit itself, or how does that work when you walk into a high school, or you got a recruit on campus? Does Ohio State recruit itself, or is there a lot more into it than what people believe?
I think there's a lot more to it than all these schools. Yeah, great brands: Alabama, Auburn, Arkansas, Oregon. Texas. You still have to work at it. I still think that the relationships matter in this profession, in recruiting, and especially in this world now. Everybody with the NIL part, relationships still matter. What you're going to pour into the young men and kids, but this brand is strong. I think they have one of the biggest fan bases in all of football. So can it recruit itself? Yes, but you still have to work at it. Bringing a certain type of young man in this program. Like, this past year, I think we had like a 3.4, 3.5 GPA. And the only school that came close to that was Harvard.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's a certain type of kid Coach Day bringing into this program. And we have some great kids, man. And they come from all over the country. And, me, I'm from the South, so I'm trying to go in the South and get more Southerners up here, And this year we got a couple kids, got a young man from Alabama, from my city in Montgomery, got him to come in as a running back. And Quinshon Judkins, who was from my hometown as well, he was with us this past year. So we're trying to go in the South and get more players to come up here to Columbus, because Columbus is a great city. The Ohio State is a really great university. My twins are freshmen here, and they love it. So I have enjoyed the city, and I got here hitting the ground running April the 2nd. And I've been running ever since.
You have been running,
I've been running ever since.
Wow. Where are you headed tomorrow?
I'm heading to the great state of Texas. See if I can start a fight or two in Texas.
There you go. There's good football there.
It
should find somebody.
Absolutely great football in Texas, but I'm going to try to pick a few fights.
I love it.
I got you. Well, Coach, let me ask you this too. I'll turn it over to Bray. And we'll get you off here. NIL, how much dealings do you do? Is that more Coach Day and a staff, or do y'all put certain prices on certain positions? How does that look? Or are you in those conversations?
I'm a football coach.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I don't deal with them conversations. If you want your son to be poured into, be molded as a man, and want to be tutored to become one of the best running backs in the country, you send them to me. If you're trying to get in the financial part of banking, I point to Coach Day and the rest of the guys that handle that. I'm a football coach.
Yeah.
No, I point to young man. I have no problem with the NIL stuff. This is my only issue. Come earn it. I tell my players when I recruit you, I ain't giving you nothing. I'm not giving you anything. And one of my kids this year, I'm so proud of him. He came to play for me at Oregon. And he tell guys all the time, man, Coach Locklyn ain't going to give you nothing. You're going to work for it. Bucky Irvin had one of the best rookie seasons for a 4th-round draft pick, 125th pick overall, and they had all rookies in rushing. I had him for 2 years at Oregon. But that relationship started at Memphis, and I used to tell him the same thing, man, I ain't giving nobody nothing. Come prove it. Come work for it. And I have him talk to some of my guys, and he tell them, like, he going to make you earn it. And that's just my mindset. Come earn it. Come prove yourself. Come prove. If you prove yourself, then all those things will take care of themselves. But I grew up loving this game, not for the financial gain. I love this game for the competition, for the great fraternity it is to be playing this game, and the relationships. Coming from Alabama, that was my way out. It wasn't about money. It was just I wanted to play ball. I wanted to be a part of the game because this is a great game. It's such a privilege to play it and coach it. And I think a lot of times people lose that perspective. And they chase the wrong things. I tell people all the time, can't serve two masters. You're going to love one and hate the other. So I love the game of football, and I love pointing at people. So that's how I feel about NIL at times.
Well, good deal. Bray?
Yeah, that's a great answer. And Coach, I got nothing else. I think we've kind of gone A to Z. It's been awesome having you on, Coach. I appreciate you joining the podcast.
Man, you know you my guy, Bray, man. We go way back to Memphis. You were there with me from the jump. So any way that I can help you, I'm always here. Number never change. I was gonna be the same person here to help.
Well, Coach, Coach, we appreciate you coming on. We're gonna send you some gear and everything, and a short notice. And anytime we get a national champion on here, we're really fired up, and we appreciate you coming on, man.
No problem at all.
Well, good luck to you down the road.
Yes, sir.
See you later, buddy.
All right.
See you, Coach.
All right, buddy.